today seemed to fit the way I wanted. Some cloud make out of social trends and the union, a massive sin again, a lady, not a soul is being befitted. The complexity to what perceived as authenticity. Sociology is downright low to me. It's not my pedigree to trans-celebrity. I know I want to stop and get out. Just loving myself. I want to get out. It's not the sun.
What keeps us healthy and happy as we go through life? If you were going to invest now in your future best self, where would you put your time and your energy? What if we could study people from the time that they were teenagers all the way into old age to see what really keeps people happy and healthy? We did that. The Harvard study of adult development may be the longest study of adult life that's ever been done. For 75 years, we've tracked the lives of 724 men. Year after year, asking about their work, their home lives, their health, and of course, asking all along the way without knowing how their life stories were going to turn out. So what have we learned? What are the lessons that come from the tens of thousands of pages of information that we've generated on these lives? Well, the lessons aren't about wealth or fame or working harder and harder. The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period.
here, you might be asking, what is LifeApp? Well, LifeApp is a health and wellness center for relationships. And tonight you are at LifeApp Live, and we're excited because LifeApp Live is all about starting conversations that matter in our community. And we think a conversation about gratitude and creating a culture of appreciation is something that we want to see in our city and in our homes. So we're glad that this theater is like super crazy full. Thank you for being here.
So I'd love to see a show of hands. Who's here for the first time to a LifeApp event? Yeah! So over the next 90 minutes, just want to give you a heads up of what you can expect. Something like if you were to put into a blender a TED Talk meets an Oprah interview with a late night show band, and then afterward we have some great food in the lobby. Because again, like Teresa said, it's about starting conversations that matter, and then let's keep them going.
I'm all distracted because there's like this super long curly hair like hanging off your arm. I do know who it's from. Starting conversations that matter is what Live is all about. Now, we can't guarantee that you're going to agree with or like or resonate with everything that you hear on our stage, but it is our hope that this conversation will begin in this theater and then make its way out into the foyer where some people have like made some really great food for us to connect over after the event. And then a conversation will make its way out to your car and then eventually around your kitchen table, where it's going to affect the lives of the people that you love most. Now, before we go any further, I have to tell you what I'm so grateful for. Tonight, for the very first time ever, we are sponsored by Envision Financial. Now, I want to tell you what this means to us, and I thank you for that amazing round of applause. That was really wonderful. As is our Envision person actually in the theater right now? Where are you, one? Are you here? Hello? Hello? Is he outside? Well, somebody get him in here. He's missing the whole thing. So, Tina, can you go get one and bring him in here? So is he? Juan, are you there? Okay, awesome. So here's what I want to ask you. Those of you who have only been to LifeApp tonight, that's one thing. But those of you who have been to LifeApp for a long time, there's a reason that you come here, right? Yeah. So what I want you to do right now, because this is so significant for us to be recognized in our community for what we're doing by an organization like Envision Financial. So for those of you who are old-timers, and even some of you new-timers for the first time, I want you to let Envision know how much we appreciate it.
Take a moment to just unpack a little bit around what is LifeApp. Again, if this is your first time, you haven't heard of LifeApp, we get phone calls, we get asked, there's typical questions people ask. What is LifeApp? What's the bottom line? And so to just net it out immediately, and then we can unpack that a little bit, the bottom line is we want to create a space, a community, that actually together we can explore what is love and how do we live it, coming from all kinds of diverse backgrounds. So there's a slide that illustrates what we're trying to create. When a number of years ago, a group of us got together and we said, where do we actually have conversations about how to thrive in relationships? Mentally, socially, physically, spiritually. And where do we actually grow in this dimension? And yet, as we saw in that video, relationships are at the core of our lives. And so, as we looked around, we said, therapists are doing an amazing job. But therapists are not a community. Yes. Woo! Absolutely. They're doing an amazing job. But they're a community. Then we looked around and we said, well, there's faith communities. There's churches, synagogues, mosques, temples. And they do a work. However, 85% of those of us that live in this area have voted with our feet. That's not where we're going to go to get that. So we said, what if we could create a space that wasn't anchored in a faith objective of kind of a convince and convert, and instead was driven by a open exploration of what is love and how do we actually live it.
So that's what we're all about. A couple of questions that we get on a regular basis. Come on in. Oh, friends of mine. Everybody here is a friend of mine. You've all shown up for me. So, a couple of questions that we get on a regular basis that we're going to clear up for you right now. Number one question that's asked, who funds LifeApp?
LifeApp has been funded by individual people who believe that we can actually create a space that would make a difference and change the relational quality within our region and our neighborhood.
So are you funded by a church?
Not funded by a church.
Are you funded by Trinity?
Not connected to any other organization. We're an independent nonprofit charity, independently funded. This month is the first month we've also been corporately supported.
And we're very excited about that. A little bit later in our program, we'll tell you more about how you can help us in the work that we're doing in the community. We are funded by people who believe in what it is that we do here in exploring love and what it is and how we can live it well. So, a couple more things you can expect tonight. We are going to hear an interview from Darren and Laverna of Best Marriages. We're excited to have them on our stage again tonight. We're going to also announce the winners of the Gratitude Challenge. Some of you took part in the gratitude contest that we started on the 1st of August. No, sorry, 1st of September. And we have 3 winners. We're going to announce them tonight. So there's going to be more music. We're going to have a great night. And there's going to be audience participation. So those of you who are just itching to get out of your seat and do something, I can't wait. Okay?
So let's unpack this thing. Gratitude. Creating a culture of appreciation. Gratitude has lots of layers, and many times, we hear of, get up in the morning and have gratitude, do your affirmations, and there's this private dimension of gratitude that's kind of an internal work, and it's valuable. But tonight, we wanted to move from kind of that internal work to the relational side. And so tonight, we're actually going to dive into what does it actually look like to create a culture of appreciation where we actually give voice to the gratitude that we observe around us.
So before we do that, though, it's always fun to laugh, right? I love to laugh. Anybody else like to laugh? So the 93-7 principle. Anybody out here know what the 93-7 principle is? Oh, what is it? It is about communication. The 93-7 principle is that 93% of the communication that you have is nonverbal. It's body language, it's tone, and 7% is words. So we thought this was kind of funny that, if you're not watching your tone, sometimes the message gets missed.
We sent my cousin Sal out on the street today to yell compliments at people walking by. I asked him to shout nice things in an aggressive way, and as you will see here, I think he really helped to boost their self-esteem.
Hey, let me ask you something. Was your New Year's resolution to get in the best shape of your life? Because you clearly succeeded, all right? Yeah, you got muscles on your muscles. Yeah, you're welcome. That's about it. Excuse me, let me see something. Your nail beds are so healthy and well cared for. Your manicurist must be very proud, right? Very proud. Hey, let me ask you something. You exfoliate because you have perfect skin. You ever heard that before?
I haven't actually heard that.
You have? Who told you that? Because that person's a genius. Yeah, me and others, right? Congratulations on the skin.
Oh, look, my pleasure.
Yeah, give me a hug. Let me rub it up against that skin. Oh, nice. Beautiful. Hey, sir, was your New Year's resolution to have the best looking family ever? You must be so proud of your beautiful family, right? Aren't you so proud?
I'm very
Oh, you must be. You must have the best family holiday cards, right? I'd like one if you have an extra. And you know what? You should be a runway model because you have a real impressive strut. You really have that walking thing down to a T. You must walk all the time. And your eyes are so symmetrical, too. Perfect distance apart. Yeah, you're like the opposite of a Picasso painting. And I like your wings. Hey, you have really long eyelashes. Do you jump rope with those eyelashes? You probably do because you're so in shape. I'm sure you do. That's how you stay so fit. Am I right? Hey, man, you're really self-confident with the ponytail with the shirt off. I wish I had that confidence. I don't. Oh, I don't. You do. Hey, let me ask you something. Did you fall from heaven? Because your legs are really strong. They probably just got like that and you landed on them. Because you have strong legs. You're a muscular guy. Right?
You better believe it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Strong guy.
Yeah.
Kick my ass. For sure you kick my ass. You better believe it. That's what I'm saying to you. Right? Hey, that's a great megaphone. I wish I had a megaphone like that. Can I use that? I just scream all day and I don't have anything to amplify it. I got a raspy voice at the end of the day. But not you. You thought ahead. Really smart. And you're friends with Jesus. Hey, why are you running, man? You already have the perfect physique. What are you doing? What?
I'm running.
I know. Why?
Why? Because I want to run.
You look perfect already.
It's okay.
Don't tell me. You don't need to run. You look perfect, all right?
Okay.
Cut out the running. Just cut it out. You look great.
It's okay.
You look great.
It's my problem.
It's your problem. You look great.
Okay, but don't give me.
Hey, I'm telling you, you look great.
Don't tell me anything.
You look great, all
I
right?
don't care what you say.
Stop running. You look great. You look great. Ah.
I'd like to invite Darren and Laverna up on our stage. Wasn't that amazing? Uncle Sal. So these are our friends Darren and Laverna Wilk from Best Marriages. I think we might be sitting the wrong way. We were told like 1, 2, 3, 4. But I have a feeling I'm the only one doing it right, which makes me really happy. Okay, I'm sure our sound man will figure it out. He's amazing. So, Darren and Laverna, you guys are from Best Marriages, and we're so proud to have you on our stage, and we're so grateful to have you on our stage. So thank you. Almost every time we ask them to come, they do come. They're a wealth of information. So they are certified Gottman-trained therapists, and they put on amazing workshops to help couples in their relationships, and we're going to tell you about that in a little bit.
Trained and trainers.
Yeah, they're trainers as well. And we're going to talk about your relationship with the Gottman Institute in a few minutes, but what I want you to do right now is, we have a lot of people in our audience that don't know who John and Julie Gottman are, so 60 seconds, 30 seconds, tell our audience who the Gottmans are.
Well, John and Julie Gottman, Dr. John and Julie Gottman, have been studying couples for 40 years, 45 years now, I think. And John set out to find out what makes marriages work and what makes them not work, rather than a lot of materials at the time when he was started this 40 years ago was really just hypothetical hypothesis. People just thought, hey, couples, this is what they must do, this was what makes good relationships, but nobody really knew. So he just watched couples, happy couples and miserable couples, and he watched them for 20 years and to see what causes them to divorce, what keeps them together. And then he put together, after he got married to Julie Gottman was really just admiring him and thought he was the smartest man in the entire world, and she said to him, John, you know, like, did you ever notice that all these people that are fighting all the time in all of your studies, don't you notice that they're really hurting and they're miserable and that they're really like their lives are just awful? He says, yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? And he says, like, yeah, they get divorced, you know, I can predict it with 95% accuracy which ones are gonna, like, not make it. Isn't that incredible? She says, yeah, but have you ever thought of helping them? Well, no. He says, I don't want to do that. Like, it's like everybody that's tried to do that has failed. I don't want to fail. I just want to just find out what makes people happy and not happy. So then she says, well, come on, just why don't we help the couples? He says, no way. He says, come on, John, help the couples. It'll be nice. It'll be kind. You'll like it. She says, all right, okay, we'll help the couples. And so they designed a therapy now that we use at our workshops and at our counseling center to how to actually not get divorced And it's based on real couples and happy couples rather than some theory that's made up in a book someplace. So that's basically John in a nutshell.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that that I've also observed, because you guys focus, I mean, best marriages, it's a focus on marriage, but one of the things that is really profound about the work of John Gottman is that it actually translates into every relationship. And so, tonight, as we talk about creating a culture of appreciation, one of the questions that I have is, you know, as John did his work, there was one particular behavior that was indicative across the board with blowing apart relationships. It just is hostile to relationships. It pops up, and it's contempt. Can you unpack? Because as we talk about creating this culture of appreciation, it's actually helpful to start with what's stopping us from creating that culture of appreciation.
Well, I'll let my wife take this because she's very good at it, the contempt part, and she's amazing at it. And
okay, he's being silly, but actually I am really good
she's
at it.
very good at it, and it really puts fear in my boots sometimes. So yes. No.
You know, the facial expression for contempt is the eye roll, and this little muscle right here when you go, right? And then you go, and it kind of says, wow, I didn't know there could be dumber people out there, but apparently there could be. And so, you know, one of the things that we know from research is that contempt actually makes us sick. And one of the studies that they did, you know, they always hook people up in a million different ways, but they actually, for this one study, they left them hooked up, and they were extracting droplets of blood on regular intervals throughout the conversation. And they noticed that whenever contempt entered into the conversation, the recipient of contempt would have a significant drop in their white blood cell count. And that's huge because that's what's fighting infection, that's what's fighting colds and flus and all that fun stuff, but it also reduces our ability to fight off the growth of cancer, right, and tumors. And so that's why it's such a powerful, powerful poison in relationships. And you said, you know, what keeps people from being more positive when they could be contemptuous, right? You know, if I'm being contemptuous at you and you don't like me, well, whatever. I didn't think you were going to like me because I was being a jerk. But if I was being, you know, really positive and supportive and loving and kind, and then you treat me badly, that's really, really going to hurt, right? And so coming from a place of positivity, of love, of being supportive can actually make us a little bit vulnerable. It's a more vulnerable stance. And so sometimes people kind of withhold. It's just easier to be a jerk.
What are ways that people are contemptuous? Like sometimes we always think it's being mean and sort of rude or obnoxious, or you know, but a lot of times it's really not. It's sometimes very subtle. Like when someone's like doing something, says, you know, let me do that. I don't think you really know how to do that very well. Or, you know, like maybe let me look after the kids tonight because really, you know, the last time you did it, they barely survived. And in that study, did they say anything about hair loss?
Oh, so many things.
But it's really subtle the way it can come out. Like like one time I thought maybe I was being a bit contemptuous when you couldn't figure out how to find pictures on your phone. And so I just said, give me that phone. Like, I can't believe you've had a phone for like 12 years now and you still cannot find the pictures on your phone. And it just was driving me crazy. But I think even that is slight.
Oh, yes.
What is it? Okay. So that was contempt.
We definitely need therapy tonight.
Any good
I know a
advice?
good place.
I thought it was just helping you out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and it can be, you know, take it into the social media ring. Like put contempt in social media. Think of some of the comments that go back and forth. Political. There's a whole bunch of other arenas where contempt shows up. And you know, in marriage, what is contempt an indicator of? Where does that go? Is it really that big a deal?
Well, of the 4 things that John noticed creates divorce, at least within like criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and so on. But contempt is like criticism on steroids, and contempt is when you let criticism and defensiveness go unchecked for too long, and it builds up into like resentment or contempt. But you literally are on guard the moment your partner comes into the room, either because you're on the receiving end of it, or you're ready to look for something that they're doing wrong. And basically couples can't really make it. Like some couples do pretty good, stable but miserable couples, John's discovered. Like there's a lot of marriages that are 25, 30 years that are full of contempt, but they just don't believe in divorce. But it doesn't mean it's a good relationship.
I think one of the things that's so easy to fix contempt is appreciation, and that's what we're just giving you a big lesson on contempt, but we're really here about appreciation and gratitude. So tell us the benefits that happen to both parties when appreciation is used. It has a reciprocal effect.
One of the things that I sometimes ask my clients to do, and I'm just going to do it really quick right now, look around you and notice if you can.
We're just going to bring the lights up.
Lights up?
She's getting it.
Just a little bit.
There we go.
Look around and notice what's in a lot of here. Notice maybe all of the blue. Let's go with blue. Look around and notice all the blue in the room.
Quickly do it, and because you're going to have to close your eyes right away and identify where all the blue is. Okay, so now close your eyes, and I want you to identify all of the yellow. Right? So you're not going to know a lot of yellow because you weren't looking for it, right? And so whatever we're looking for is what we're going to find. And part of what helps us be grateful is being super tuned in to looking for all the great stuff. And this is not just relationships. This is in your workplace. This can be with your siblings. It can be with your children. It can be with your neighbors. Who doesn't love being around? Okay, that guy up on the screen was a little aggressive. Take out the aggressive, though. Who doesn't love being around positive people, right? And so part of the way that we can be more positive is to just be very vigilant in our environment. And when we notice all the stuff that we can be grateful for, that's huge for us. It impacts our soul, but it also impacts the soul of the person the people that we're around, and it allows us to impact them in a big way, in a very positive way. I got to jump in as well on that, because what's interesting about what the idea of noticing is that when we looked at marriages, the good ones and the bad ones and the relationships, that actually they weren't that far off from each other. There were slight differences in the relationships because we saw good things happening. But what is noticed is that you have to find evidence for appreciation. I don't think appreciation works to be fake. That's why you have to, find out something that makes sense to that person and appreciate it for what they are good at. But what we noticed is that the problem in most relationships is not that good things aren't happening. I often ask couples, do you have, you guys sound like you're awful to each other. You must have no friends at all. No one must like you. No, you must go to work and does anybody like you at work? Well, of course they do, right? Because everybody else, they have friends. Everybody likes them because they're good people. And so good things are happening. And it's actually not, the problem is not that good things are not happening in bad marriages. Good things are happening, but people are not noticing them because they're paying attention to the bad things. Why do we do that? Because it feels more stronger to not give up our power by pointing out someone's good trait, because it makes us feel like we have a leg to stand on, or we're not going to be that vulnerable because our partner's going to kick our legs out from underneath us. And so don't let them in on your good stuff, and don't give it away. And so it's a strong stance to be contemptuous. That's why we do it. Our brain is always protecting ourselves. It loves to protect ourselves.
And another piece to this is the story that we tell ourselves is a huge deal. And if I am preoccupied with running a story about how you have disappointed me, the problem is it actually releases dopamine in our brain because it actually feels good to run that story. And the more times I run the story of how disrespectful you might have been, or that look you gave me, and every time I run it, it gets a little darker and a little darker and a little darker, right? And pretty soon I've lost touch with how it actually went. But meanwhile, that's the story that I'm believing, and it's reinforcing all kinds of stuff. And so when we change the story and we start to tell, if this is the story I am telling myself, and then this is the story I will tell myself, there is always another level that we can go to where we actually find compassion for the person. Wow, yeah, they were a jerk, but they must have been really feeling bad about what's going on in their life in order to be able to talk to me like that. Like, man, that's gotta suck to walk around with all that tension and frustration and pain, yeah. And then for that just to spew out at very little provocation, that just has to feel so out of control to be done. Wow, that is painful. And so then again, there's that compassion, right? There's that positivity about seeing something more in them than just running that old story.
It takes work to be that's why a lot of people, we hear be grateful, give appreciations, but it actually, your brain has an easier time not doing it. And so it actually takes a lot of work to train your brain as a muscle to do it. And it gives twice. It gives to the person that gets it, and it gives to the person that gives it, because it changes you as you express it out. And it's some of us didn't grow up in families where anybody does that. Like, you never got an appreciation unless you somehow got the Governor General's Award or something like that, like at school. Like, other than that, your A's are just like, oh, anybody can get A's. So a lot of us didn't grow up in this culture, so it really takes retraining.
I really love the idea of scanning your environment, like we did for those, blue shirts in the audience. And just this week, I had the experience of writing some things I was grateful for. I was having a bit of a hard day, and I thought, I'm going to write in the gratitude journal. And I sat down and I literally thought to myself, I don't have one thing to be thankful for today. Not one thing has gone right. And then I thought of one thing, and I thought, this is great. I have only one thing. And then as I sat there in silence and stilled my heart, before I knew it, I had like 15 things, right? And so scanning our environment for our partners and our children and our co-workers and the people in our life, it's just critical. It's life-changing. It really is. It's life-changing.
Well, Teresa, you can, if you're ever out of everything, you can always just go to, I've got fabulous hair. If everything is, you just got, that's your bottom line.
That's the go-to. Okay, all right. Well, I have no excuse ever.
That's what I say.
What do you do?
That's what I say when I sit there. I look in the mirror. You underneath there is fabulous hair.
Exactly.
I had fabulous hair. I did.
So one last run at creating this culture of appreciation. What would you say if you had one last word, one thing to leave people with? What would you say to just remember as we create? We're moving beyond just being grateful. I mean, we've talked about the value of that, but it's actually being intentional, like Darren said, working to create a culture of appreciation.
Do you have a last thing? I don't know. I might have a last thing after you have a last thing, so we'll see.
I'm really good with the last word. I think I think it is very important when we are having conversations with people. There's a difference between just not being negative and actually being positive, and just stopping the negative behavior or activity or mood or whatever isn't quite enough. So that's a key piece. Like, you can't just stop being misbehaving. But sometimes when we do that, it's more about misbehaving. It's less about misbehaving, and it's more about desperate behavior, right? And so when we're having those feelings like, oh, something's going on here, actually just talking about yourself and your own feelings and not describing the person that you're with. If I come across super aggressive and go, why are you always late? You know, instead I can go, you know what, I love it when we get to be on time. Do you know if we could leave 15 minutes earlier today, just so we're not rushed and we can enjoy our trip down there and talk and visit. I think that's a big piece.
That's good. You know what I love about what you have done, and I think you modeled it and we do it now quite a bit, is talk about what's going on in the moment when you're enjoying it. So like a lot of times we can't read each other's minds, and so you and I, like a couple of weeks ago, we were just nailing the whole breakfast routine, and you were saying, you know, I just like the way we're working as a team today. This is really nice. And then when we were on one of our motorcycle trips, you said, this is really just a great day. I'm really enjoying my time with you, and this is one of those moments where I just find myself being very close to you. And there's just lots of little times where you can just state something that's in your head already, that's automatic, just state it out. Like, I'm really enjoying this. This is really nice. This is an awesome time right now.
I have one more final thing. I'll be really quick.
What?
You know, wow, you made me forget what I was going to say. Notice, right?
You said one more final thing.
I know, and it was awesome.
It's like the key thing that we're all going to want to take home.
Yeah, no, it's probably good.
Okay, so while you think about it, what Jonathan, share. Okay, let's see.
You know, we teach our children to say thank you, right, and pleases and stuff. But then sometimes when we get to be adults, we forget to say thank you for really obvious stuff like, hey, thank you for going to work today and working so hard to provide for our family. Or thank you for, I love that your socks actually hit the laundry basket. That made my day.
That sounds like contempt. I'm just saying.
He's identifying with that one. Or, hey, thank you for driving today. It was really nice to not have to worry about the traffic. Or, hey, thanks for having a smile today.
Yeah, so true. And I think that's one of the big things that we hope that we all walk away with tonight is that gratitude, it's great to write down in a journal what you're grateful for. But when we talk about creating a culture of appreciation, we're talking about expression. And so if you don't say it, I can't tell you how many times I've met people and something comes up and they'll say, wow, well, I've always liked, and the other person goes, I've never heard you say that before. And so just scanning your environment.
Yeah, it's got to come out of here, and then out of your mouth.
Yeah.
The thing that makes noise.
Awesome. Yeah. So before you guys sit down, we just want to tell you that if you want to know more information about some of the workshops that Best Marriages puts on, they have one coming up called The Art and Science of Love in the month of October. Jonathan and I have both taken a number of their workshops. We highly recommend it, and we're so clearly functional up here that, of course, we all want to be going to it. Anyways, Darren and Laverna have also been given the blessing. I love that term, being given the blessing. It's an old Jewish term. By John and Julie Gottman. This is an old video, but when we saw it this week, we thought, oh, we need to play this because this is appreciation at its finest. So.
And I just want to add one comment to that. These guys are local. This is Best Marriages is like right across from Costco. But these guys, but I want to say, they are now trainers. Seattle, like the Gottman Institute out of Seattle, pulls them down to Seattle, their team, to train therapists around the world. So in our local community, we have this resource that is just fantastic.
We're so lucky to have these guys here. So if you're in trouble, or if you just want to take your marriage or relationship to the next level, we highly recommend this. Yeah, go to the workshop. So you can find out more at guest services. Leave your name and we'll contact you. But have a listen from John and Julie Gottman.
Okay, this is for Darren, Lawrence, and Laverna. You guys, you are now doing your 50th ASL, and you are heroes.
You're amazing.
You have more energy than the two of us times 10. I mean, it's miraculous what you guys have been able to accomplish. And we are so proud of you and
Yes, we are.
so happy that you have worked so hard to help reach couples out there in the world to change their relationships, heal, and restore their relationships. So thank you, you guys. You
We're very
are
proud of you
great.
guys. Yes.
Right?
Gonna make a change
I've already spoken to you about the power of appreciation and my philosophy of being a fan. But it's so important and it works like magic, so I really want to hammer this point home. And I also want to show you the power of using video when you express your appreciation for something. So let me tell you a story. You know, as you know, I'm one of the most booked speakers in the world. I'm traveling all of the time. And 9 times out of 10, our 11-year-old son, Oakley, really doesn't care where I am. He only wants to know how many sleeps before you get home and are you bringing me anything? A couple months ago, I was giving a speech in Orlando, and it happened to be for Microsoft. And I was really excited to be giving the speech, and I was also excited because I was going to be able to catch an earlier flight home. So I called my husband and I'm talking to Chris and I say something about, the earlier flight, and then he said, well, good luck with Microsoft. And in the background, I hear my son, our son, Oakley, go, Microsoft? Xbox Microsoft? Is mom speaking at Microsoft? And I'm like, am I on speaker, Chris? And he says, yeah. And I said, hey, Oak. I said, yeah, I'm speaking at Microsoft. And all of a sudden, he gets so amped. You can tell that he's run over to the phone and he's going, have you gone on stage yet? Oh my gosh, is this the Xbox people? And I said, no, this is just Microsoft, honey. It's just the marketing group and, whatever. And he's asking me all these questions rapid fire and he says, have you gone on stage? And I said, no. And he said, when are you going on stage? And I said, in 10 minutes. And he said, can I send you a video? And I said, of course you can send me a video. So I hang up with him and I'm standing backstage. And I'm standing with a bunch of executives from Microsoft, and we were having a great time. Super cool group of people, as you probably imagine they would be. And I'm talking to a bunch of people that I've just met, and all of a sudden, bang, my phone, look down at this as it's vibrating, and it's Oakley telling me that he's just sent me a video. Pick up the video. I open up the video. My son has also told me that this video is for Microsoft, and I turn to the people around me who are some major senior people at Microsoft, and I say, well, my son just sent me a video, 5-second rule, right? My instincts say play it for him. Probably should have vetted it first, but I decided, hey, why not? I've got about 7 minutes before I'm supposed to go on stage. Let's play what Oakley sent to me. So I gather everybody around, and I do exactly what Oakley says, and I hit play, and this was the video he sent.
Hello, Microsoft, and I'm here to tell you why I love Xbox so much. I think the quality of the games and how you guys make them is astounding, and they look beautiful. I love all the games that you made, and I love everything about them. And I just wanted to say thank you for making those games, because I am the biggest Minecraft fan, and I have done everything in Minecraft, and I love it, and I love that game, and I love how you guys took it over, and I love how you guys made so many fun games, and I think you guys are just the best company ever, and I just wanted to say that for you. So thank you so much for being a part of my life. My name is Oakley, and I'm here to say thank you. Peace out.
Now, the only thing that surprised me about that video is the fact that he didn't say, and you can send the DVDs and, our address. Well, I was laughing really hard, and I had just met this guy, Jeremy, before I hit play. Little did I know that Jeremy was the head of global sales for Xbox. So he turns to me and says, put the camera on me, I have a message for Oakley. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to. Pay attention to the end of the video. Because Jeremy is a really smart guy, and clearly he understands the law of reciprocity, and he also understands the power of appreciation. Check this out.
Hello, Oakley. I'm just here because I want to say thank you to you for being part of our lives, buying all the Minecraft games and being such a raving fan. And so thank you for being part of our community and for being an Xbox fan and for following Microsoft. And so what we want to say is, my name's Jeremy. I look after all the sales for Xbox around the world. And so what we would like to do for you is we want you to come with your mom to Seattle and come round and look at the Xbox studios, and we'll show you how we make some games, and we'll show you some of the new cool stuff we're working on. And we'd like you to have a fabulous experience where you can then go out and advocate for Xbox to all your friends and all your community. So we're here to say thanks to you, mate. Really love the video. Take care.
I mean, how cool is that? And you know what else is cool is that it's also going to give Oakley, our son, who is dyslexic, he's a gamer, he's not into sports, the chance to actually see the behind the scenes of an industry that he's really interested in. So I'm super fired up to go on the tour. But more importantly, I was showing you this for a different reason. And that is that there is so much power in expressing your appreciation. And imagine the difference if Oakley had just said, tell Microsoft I'm a fan. If I had just said, oh, by the way, my son's really into Xbox and Minecraft. Everybody would have been like, oh, that's great, thanks a lot. What this mentoring session demonstrates is the power of video and the lasting impact that video has when you're expressing appreciation. So today what I want you to do is I want you to take 10 seconds. That's all it takes. Take your phone, turn it around, take a video of yourself, and cheer for somebody. Express appreciation. Tell somebody you love them, you miss them, you were just thinking about it, and then hit send. You will be startled by just how big of an impact it's going to have.
Now is the time where we are going to ask for some audience participation. We need about 6 volunteers. Here's the catch. You have to be paired with someone that you're in a relationship with. Now, it can be a mother and a daughter.
It can
or
be a business partnership.
Business partnership, friends. It can be lovers. It can be father and son. Yeah, any one of those things. But I need 6 volunteers. Really fast, people, super fast. Okay, you two gals in the front. Okay, somebody up top, quick guys. Okay, yeah, a couple kids. You gotta make sure your partner's willing to come with you, so come. We can't have people have a fight when they get here, okay? Is there, yeah, we'll take you guys. Mariah and James. Okay, so that's 3.
That's 3.
Let's
Let's
right?
get,
okay,
let's also
Grant
ask
Tina.
Grant and Tina to come up.
So, Grant and Tina don't get the choice to volunteer, they just have to come. Okay, so you guys are going to decide right now, one of you's A and one of you's B, okay? We don't care who's A, we don't care who's B, but you choose, okay? Probably the one who's the most reluctant should be B. Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to give you an opportunity to simply express appreciation. And whoever's the recipient, basically all you can say is thank you.
Okay. Which one of you wants to be?
Let's go first.
Okay. So what's your name?
My name is Grant.
And where do you work? No, I'm just kidding.
Tina, what I appreciate about you is that you are so very loving and so patient and forgiving to me, and that you have such a high level of relational wisdom. And in particular, I'm so thankful the way that you hold me accountable. Because you do it with such compassion and with grace and with forgiveness. And even though I may not like it at the time, I'm so very appreciative that you are helping me to become the best me that I can be.
Thank you. Okay. Now, when we met, before we started dating, you told me that you had a lot of love to give. And I've put that love to the test. when I met you, I was at the beginning of my self-love journey. And I appreciate that your love for me validated the love I knew I deserved. Your love for me taught me how to respect myself as a woman. And I appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to hold you accountable. Because that takes courage. And thank you for being an amazing example to my sons of what a loving, caring man is. And thank you for being an amazing father to your daughters as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Wow, that's amazing. Hi, girls. Bet you're glad you volunteered. Yeah. So, what's your Natalie? Natalie. Crystal. Crystal. So, who's going to be A? Okay. You did? Okay. All right. That's how it works. Okay. So, Natalie and Crystal. Crystal's going to start, and you can only say thank you. No yelling like Uncle Sal. Okay? Okay, so this is a hard follow-up. I'm thankful for your business mindset. You keep me more organized and on time, which I'm horrible at. Your honesty is huge, whether I like to hear it or not, and always said with sensitivity, which is huge. I am grateful for your creativity. We work together, so family butts heads, but you always keep the object in mind, and you're always using the creative, your creative ability to get to the end goal, which we're always on, the same page with that. So you always kind of keep those goals aimed in the right direction, and I tend to get a little blurry in the process. So having you encourage me to stay on track is hard to hear sometimes, but also very, very good. Because though I put a lot of pressure on myself as the older sister, I feel like you've been an incredible role model for me, not only as like a owner or a business person, but also as a mom, because you find a way to figure it all out and make it all work and multitask in a way that I haven't quite figured out yet. And I'm very grateful for you, being able to share that with me, because often I find that my peers don't do that. They don't share, and they're not honest in a way that you are, in a sensitive way. It's usually to tell people how they should run their life, and you don't do that at all. It's always from the sense of love. So I'm very thankful for that. Thanks. Yeah, you guys can applaud. That's cool.
One of the things we didn't ask is what your relationship is. Sisters? That's what I did.
Sisters that work together. Wow, that's really amazing. So what we also didn't tell you is that you don't get to go. Yeah. Okay.
We'll unpack that a little bit later.
So yeah, you guys have
stay on the stage, but just
okay. Who's next?
Who would like to come next?
Awesome. Hi. So, what are your names?
I'm Abby.
And I'm Candace.
So what did you say?
Abby and Candace. Okay.
And the relationship.
That's my mom.
That's
Who was A?
Okay, but I think we need to be.
I think James. Yeah, we've had.
Absolutely. You look like the strong silent type. You're not getting out of this. No way. Okay.
So, okay.
Go. Yeah, oh,
Yes,
Mariah?
right. Mariah, James.
Mariah, James, and you're married.
Yeah, so 7 years, and it's been 2.5 since we've been married, and our vows simply stated that I will choose you, and I'm grateful that you have chosen me, so thank you. We also vowed to choose each other in every version of ourselves, and there's been a few of them over the past handful of years. You've seen me switch within a career. You've seen me leave that career in pursuit of a new one, and wavered since then. So your patience with me has been very valuable. I'm very grateful for that. Your dedication to us for making me stand up and come do this. That ever since I mentioned you've got me to step back out of my shell, which I retreated into many years ago. Grateful for you pushing us to travel the world, because without you, we wouldn't be doing that either. We've got some pretty incredible places. Just, yeah, grateful and very thankful for you choosing me, and then we're going to spend the rest of our lives together.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
You guys all were here. So here's the question. B's, maybe raise your hand for a second, the people who were B. Okay, so here's the question. You were A. You don't know what you're doing. I know you're messed up. I know, but we're in control up here, okay? We have the mics. So, those of you that were B, that didn't get to express anything back, we were very intentional to not let you do that. And here's the reason why. It wasn't a tit for tat thing, it's like, Christmas morning and you have surprise company and they bring a gift and you're like, oh, here, it's a roll of paper towel. We're not doing tit for tat, right? So how did it feel for you to be affirmed, first of all? It felt pretty amazing. I felt like I wanted to interrupt her to say nice things to her while she was saying them. Yeah. And it felt sad that I couldn't give her my things, which I should do soon after this, maybe.
But it's a really natural thing for that to happen. And this is one of the things that, as we talk about scanning your environment, part of what you hold in your hands is you hold the ability to make the change, to create the culture of appreciation regardless of anybody else. And so when you actually hold the mindset of, I can express it no matter if they respond or not, it sets you up in a different place and you begin to create a culture.
Okay, a question. Of the B's, did any of you feel incredibly awkward? Just raise your hand if you did. I did at first, okay, and then I didn't after a while. You start to suck it all in, right? Yeah, it was good. Mariah, how did you feel?
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward having so many people listening to what felt really vulnerable and beautiful. But once we were in it, it's like, okay, it's just the two of us, and it felt really amazing. And what I also noticed when you had shared, okay, you're not going to be going next, I was no longer thinking about what I would say, and was able to actually hear what James was sharing with me.
I want to just drive that. What you just said, Mariah, is gold. I think one of the problems is that when somebody gives us, we either have the tendency to go, oh, no, we brush it off, or we're thinking about, well, what could I say? But we're not embracing the moment and just going, thank you, and taking it in and letting it actually hit us so that we experience it.
Thank you guys. Thank you for being brave and coming up here. I just want to say one thing that, the things that were said on these chairs, are sometimes things that are left to be said after people are gone. Don't be that person. Say the things that are on our heart. Love on the people in your life and be loved back. Don't wait until it's too late to say things.
And one last thing too, going back to this scanning your environment. We did this with these people knew each other. But every moment of our day, there are things that we could be aware of, that we could respond to. And somebody who's taught me this actually in an incredible way is my 16-year-old daughter. She does this frequently. Literally 2 days ago, we went to get takeout food in an East Indian restaurant. And as we were leaving the restaurant with the food, she makes this pit stop at a table where she starts talking to someone, and I'm thinking, does she know these people? And she joins me again. We walk out to the car and I say, well, what were you saying? Do you know them? And she goes, no, I don't have a clue who they are. But I saw the girl at the far side of the table, and I thought, wow, she really does a good job on her makeup. So I just leaned over and said, I love the way you do your makeup. Well, here's what happened is I just saw her walk over and talk, and they were, this girl was kind of this kind of facial expression, and it just went from this to, thank you. We have the potential to bring so much joy, but we just don't leverage it.
More from the band.
number 4 on living a wholehearted life and being a wholehearted person is my favorite. I mean, I think the way to course correct everything, that's why you and I are soulmates. Yes! Super Soul Sunday. That's why we are, because you understand that the cultivation of gratitude and joy is the way home. Whoa. Whoa. And people have to know that it is something, and you say this, it's something, you say this in here, and you say it in the Gifts of Perfection, that people, you have to work at it.
Yeah, I was so off base about this before I did this. I had, you know, oh my God, this is so huge. Like, I made a commitment, like, to everybody I know. I said, I will never talk about joy for the rest of my career without talking about gratitude. Because for 12 years of research, I have never interviewed a single person who talks about the capacity to really experience and soften into joy who does not actively practice gratitude.
You are absolutely right about
Period.
that. See, I have done no research except with my audience for 25 years.
Yeah, except for the 30 years of the research you've done. Yeah, except for that
but
little,
I've done no, obviously, critical research, but I know that is true. As you say that, it just, a part of me, it just resonates. And I know that is true. There is no joy without gratitude.
No, and you know what's tricky?
What?
As someone who studies shame and scarcity and fear, I will tell you that if you ask me what's the most terrifying, difficult emotion that we experience as humans,
yes.
I would say joy.
You would say that the most terrifying is joy?
No question.
Why?
You know, I often ask parents, I say, you know, I'll have 5,000 parents or something in the audience, and I'll say, raise your hand if you've ever stood over your child while he or she was sleeping and thought to yourself, I love you like I didn't know was possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in that split second, picture something horrific happening to
What
your
if
child.
something happened to you? Yes, yeah.
How many of you have ever sat up and said, wow, work's going good, good relationship with my partner?
Yeah.
Parents seem to be doing okay?
Uh-huh.
Holy crap. Something
What's
bad's going to
happen? Yes.
Right, so what is that? You know what that is?
What is that?
When we lose our tolerance for vulnerability.
Lose our tolerance for vulnerability, yeah.
Joy becomes foreboding. I'm not going to feel you. I'm not going to soften into this moment of joy. Because
I'm scared.
I'm scared it's going to be taken away. The other shoe's going to drop.
So say that again. When we lose our tolerance for vulnerability, you said in the book, but I didn't get it this deep. Go ahead.
When we lose our tolerance to be vulnerable,
yes,
joy becomes foreboding. And so what we do in moments of joyfulness is we try to beat vulnerability to the punch. Yesterday, I'm on the plane. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm taking pictures and tweeting them out of I'm in the cockpit, Super Soul Sunday, or over a bus, baby. I'm taking pictures. The plane gets down the runway and has to come back because something's wrong. I was like, I knew it. I called Steve. I said, let me just tell you something. I know because I'm fixing to meet Oprah that I'm going to die. And at my funeral, you better say she was going to be on Super Soul Sunday.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's like, foreboding joy, foreboding joy.
Foreboding joy.
Right. I interviewed a man who told me my whole life, I never got too excited, too joyful about anything. I just kind of stayed right in the middle. That way, if things didn't work out, I wasn't devastated. And if they did work out, it was a pleasant surprise.
Oh, my goodness.
And so many people said, he said, in his 60s, he was in a car accident. His wife of 40 years was killed.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And he said, the second I realized that she was gone, the first thing I thought was, I should have leaned harder into those moments of joy. Because that did not protect me from what I feel right now. We're trying to dress rehearse tragedy so we can beat vulnerability to the punch.
Yes, 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 yes.
So you know what happens? This is what the joyful people do. This is what I learned from them. In those moments where like they're getting ready to come here or something, they're looking at their children or their partner or something great, they get that shudder too, but you know what they do? They don't say, ooh, there's that shudder of terror about feeling joyful. I'm going to dress rehearse tragedy. They say, I'm going to practice gratitude. So I just sat on that plane on the runway for 20 minutes going, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I think I was like BSing a little bit. I was faking. I am grateful. But gratitude is a practice. It is tangible. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's not an attitude of gratitude.
Absolutely. It is a practice. And what I found is that when you actively practice gratitude, where you concentrate on not just thinking about it, but write things down, you go through the day looking for it.
There's no question.
You go through the day looking for it.
Isn't it amazing? It's like magic.
It is.
And you know what? I think we appreciate the little things.
Yes.
I think one of the things that happens in a culture of scarcity is we're all chasing the extraordinary. And we forget, like when I interviewed people who went through horrific things, I mean, I'm talking about the loss of children, genocide, violence, trauma. And I talked to them about what's the hardest loss. They never talked about the extraordinary things. They said, I miss the ordinary moments. I miss hearing the screen door slam and knowing my husband's home from work. I miss hearing my kids fighting in the backyard. I miss the way that my wife set the table. And those are the moments that are in front of all of us every day that we could stop and say, God, I'm grateful for this. So I'll just say right now, I'm so grateful for this.
Ah, me too.
No, I am. I'm so grateful for it.
And Jonathan for the last couple months, as well as the rest of the LifeApp team. And we want to give a big shout out, a big thank you tonight again to Envision Financial, who is our sponsor for the evening. And the Folk Cupboard Project. So to everyone who brought something tonight to donate, thank you for that as well, because that's a great, great cause. So one of the things I see when I look around this room is a lot of people who are looking for the same thing that I'm looking for, and the reason that I was really drawn to LifeApp, and that's connection. Relational awareness is something that's the foundation of our happiness, and yet it's one of the things that is the least talked about, the least funded, and the least available resource-wise for people. So what's happening with LifeApp now is a movement's being created here in Langley for us to get together and share stories, to build tools, to welcome people in a way that is free and accessible. But in order for us to continue to do that, we do need support. So right now, unfortunately, we don't have funding available here to apply for grant-wise. It's something that other cities in the Lower Mainland do have programming for, and we're looking forward to having that available to us, hopefully in the near future. But right now, we need help from you. So we do have a couple of different options for donations. We do have a table in the lobby where you can make a cash or credit card donation. We also have a new program called, is that there? Donor Box. And Donor Box is really neat for actually, like, who here drinks lattes? Anybody in the crowd? Lattes? Got a handful? So for less than the cost of a latte here in Fort Langley anyway, you can actually support us for, say, even $5 per month, and that would just be a monthly contribution that would come out that would help to support this programming so that people have access to it. One of the things when people are trying to connect is it's the fear of reaching out, and I think creating a financial boundary really makes it challenging for people to do that. So let's make sure that everybody has the ability to continue to access these amazing nights. So thank you again all for coming. Sorry, one last thing. Juan from Envision Financial, do you want to come on up to the stage? Can we give a big round of applause for Juan?
Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I know we're running a little bit late, so I'll keep it nice and sweet, or else I could talk all night. Just want to say a big thank you to Jonathan and Teresa once again for having Envision Financial here. We are thrilled to be part of this event, and thank you to all who came out, from the volunteers to the technicians in the back. Thank you guys for putting on such a wonderful event. Let's just give another round of applause. We were just quickly talking about, let's keep the donations going. We also have a great initiative. It's called the Full Cupboard. Some of you guys might have seen that shopping buggy up at the front full of food. We like to collect funds, food, and raise awareness for the Full Cupboard. That is how we give back to the food bank and our local communities. So if you guys feel free, please give us anything, even any appreciation, any donations, any awareness. It really goes a long way. I'm not sure if many of you know, but 1 in 3 that actually use the food bank services are children, and that really hits home for a lot of us. So once again, like the donor box, the Full Cupboard, keep those donations going, and have a great evening. Thank you for coming out.
So just to recap, somebody just texted while we were out back saying, how do we use Donor Box? If you go to the LifeApp website and go to donations, it's a little link, and you key it in, and it walks you through the whole process. Really simple. Now,
well, this is the time that I'm excited about, because we're going to find out who the top 3 winners are of the gratitude contest that we ran for the whole month of September. Some of you did a gratitude. Oh, there we are with Paul Brandt. Did anybody know that was Paul Brandt? So, and an Envision rep. That was a really pathetic clap, you guys.
Before we announce who the winners are, we're just going to actually thank those who gifted, to be able to actually allow us to give something special to those who took the time to really express a heartfelt, voicing of gratitude.
Yeah, I think we want to just start by thanking anybody in this room and also in our communities. It is local business that sponsors events like this. It's local business that makes these things happen. And so we have some incredible local businesses that have stepped up and said, we're going to sponsor this gratitude campaign. So our 3rd place prize is from Fortitude Restaurant in Fort Langley. Yeah. And not only is it from Fortitude, but it was donated by Woodward, and we're just really grateful for that.
Our second prize is Sukasa Spa here in Fort Langley. And it's a massage for two at Sukasa.
Yeah, seriously, my I'm not eligible. And our third place prize is overnight for two at Sparkling Hill in Vernon. Now, if you've never been there, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And that gift was donated to us by Beautiful Wild Living. And Beautiful Wild Living, Jonathan will tell you a little bit about it.
Beautiful Wild Living is a company that has been helping us as we grow LifeApp. So from social media to putting on events to working with people who really want to be intentional about what they create in business. And so, Beautiful Wild Living.
And the owner of that company is right beside us. So, Rachel, we're really thankful that you have given us this gift as a first prize. Rachel and her team actually were responsible so that we were at arm's length, because we know almost everybody that did the Gratitude Challenge. Rachel and her team chose the winners. So would you announce?
Third.
Third, start with third.
We'll
It's
start
like a beauty
with third.
pageant. It's kind of
So
like
Fortitude.
Oh, you know what? This person might not be here. I just realized.
Okay.
But we'll try. Okay, Patrick Richmond. Are you in the house? He bought a ticket, but I think at the last minute something happened. So we may have to choose another third prize person. And we'll do that in just a minute. Okay. Number two.
The Sukasa Spa, couples massage. And this is Brindley & Co. This is Megan Neufeld.
Yes, so come on. Actually, you can get your prize, Megan. We'll take them to the guest services.
Yeah,
We'll bring them in.
Okay, and our first prize, the night at Sparkling Hill. That's going to be fun. I know someone who was just there and they said it was amazing.
Sparkling Hill feels like James Bond may land his helicopter next door. It is the most unique space.
So the winner of this is Grant Stenmark.
So again, we want to thank the sponsors who so generously donated these. And you can go to guest services to go
Claim your prize.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm doing next.
Okay, that's great. Do a little song and dance here.
I believe I'm talking about the 3-day. Yes, I am. So over the summer, we took a break for 3 months with LifeApp. First time in 5 years that we haven't had a monthly event. And one of the things that our team was working on was a LifeApp 3-day. And so we've been working to create a 3-day experiential retreat that will be highly intensive. It's not a cognitive sit down, watch, listen to all kinds of lectures and that sort of thing. It's actually experiential from one thing to the next to push you to figure out, first off, who are you? Why are you here? And what's holding you back from being your best self? And how can you get past that and keep moving forward? So we're going to be doing that. We're launching that November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We do plan on doing it again, I believe, in February. So this is a new thing for LifeApp. And again, you can go to guest services to find out more about that. And then,
next month,
Real Men and the Myths of Masculinity. We're going to have a conversation about what does it really look like to be a man? And what are the different... Some interesting...
You can laugh. It's all good.
So, just going to play the trailer. And many of you may have seen this already, but we're just going to play the trailer because we want to start this conversation.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it? We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy?
What I
actually think she's trying to say.
making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
Allegations regarding sexual assault and sexual harassment.
But she says
And there will be no going back. Because we believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie.
Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool, not cool.
Some already are. In ways big
Yo, men, we're
and small.
I am strong.
I am strong.
But some is not enough.
It's not how we treat each other, okay? Okay.
Because the boys watching today will be the men of tomorrow.
So, we want to take that conversation, but we want to go further than just toxic masculinity. I mean, it's good. We got to talk about that. But we want to go upstream and say, where do we get our ideas of masculinity? What forms and shapes us? And what works and brings betterness out of men and what doesn't? So that's where we're going. Now, before I walk off this stage and the band comes on, we're going to announce our third prize winner. And the name is Caitlin Fraser. I've heard the voice. So you can hear the guest services activates. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, and we hope you continue the conversation as you move into the lobby.
Where are the losers and the screw up and the dropouts?